With Crown Jewel 2024 finally coming to an end, we can get ready, sit back, relax, and enjoy the build to Survivor Series. My honest opinion about this show, it felt like a very missable filler show. The only sort of progression that we got coming out of Crown Jewel was the Bloodline storyline from that Bloodline match. But with that being said, I will be going over all 7 matches and giving my thoughts on what I liked, I didn't like, and also I will be reviewing the production and the hype videos along the way. So the first match of the night was a surprising one because it was the 6-man tag team match of the Bloodline. On one side you got Roman, Jimmy, and Jay. On the other side you got Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga, all accompanied by the infamous, the goated Tonga Loa. The reason why I say that this match surprised me is because I feel like this match was the match to main event. The reason I say this is because you finally have Jimmy, Jay, and Roman all in the same ring, working as one cohesive unit. Before we get into the match, I just have to say that the hype package or the hype video for this match was amazing. And for the casual viewer, it was such a nice way to recap the storyline going into this 6-man tag team match. So now getting into the match. Throughout the entire match, the story that they were trying to tell was that Jay was still a separate person from Roman and Jimmy's bloodline. This was shown through Jay having his own entrance rather than accompanying Roman and Jimmy, and how Jay still had trust issues with Roman by refusing to tag him in when Roman wanted to get in. But one ref bump later and Tonga Loa causing interference led to Solo getting to hit multiple spikes on Roman Reigns, which led him to the pin. 1, 2, 3. Solo and his bloodline take the win on this one. Solo and his bloodline continue to beat on Roman, which leads to Jay and Jimmy trying to save Roman, but they were just outnumbered. Solo sets up Jay in the corner with his head in a steel chair, getting ready to do the exact same move that caused Jimmy to be out of action for 6 months. But then, Sami Zayn's music hits. See, Sami Zayn was actually teasing on joining Solo and his bloodline. Solo opens his arms and offers Zayn a hug. Zayn goes in and does an exploder suplex on Solo Sikoa. Both bloodlines get into another brawl, which leads to Solo being in the middle, and now he is alone. Each of the 4 corners had Jimmy, Jay, Roman, and Sami. Roman and Sami go for a kick and Superman punch combo, which Solo dodges. Roman gets knocked out after the kick, and we see Jimmy, Jay, and Sami arguing over a knocked out Roman Reigns. And I feel like this would have been a better way to end the show rather than to start it. To be the last thing you see before it goes off air, Jimmy, Jay, and Sami arguing over a knocked out Roman Reigns. The second match of the night was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match for the Women's Tag Team Champions. You had Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill versus Io Sky and Kairi Sane versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Lash Legend and Chikara Jackson. This was a really great match and the crowd was really into it. I like how all the teams had that archetype of a powerhouse and someone who was super fast and athletic, which led to a lot of fun spots throughout the match. In terms of storyline, there was no storytelling throughout the entire match. I feel like this was just a showcase of the capabilities of each of these tag teams. I have to say that I like that they showcased Jakara and Lash throughout the entire match. This really sets them up for a potential call-up down the line. I also like the fact that Piper Niven has gotten to show her strength and her abilities to wrestle, and it's really nice to see that she's wrestling like this. But at the end, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill got the win. I really wanted Damage Control to win this. I feel like they've been teasing this win for so long now, and when are they gonna do it? When will they give Damage Control the titles? Match 3 was Bronson Reed versus Seth Rollins, and boy do I have mixed feelings for this match. First off, I'd just like to comment about the video package. The video package really emphasizes how much of a monster Bronson Reed is, and boy, give that man the win over this feud. Throughout the entire match, the storytelling that they wanted to do was that Bronson Reed is this monster, this unstoppable monster that doesn't stay down. And Seth does everything he can to keep him down. There were a lot of false finishes. There were so many times Seth kicked out of the tsunami. There were so many times Bronson Reed kicked out of the stomp. It felt almost like it was a Brock Lesnar match. But this leads to the end of the match, where Bronson had a bloodied face because Seth hit a stomp onto the steel steps, and Seth needed to hit 2 more stomps, 1 stomp in the ring and 1 super stomp from the top rope, which I guess helps protect Bronson Reed. See, the reason why I feel very mixed about this match is because I did not like the result. I feel like Bronson Reed should have won the match. They've been building him to be this unstoppable monster that couldn't be toppled over, and I feel like all of the time and the energy being put into that was kind of wasted. Seth, on the other hand, does not need this victory. He is that type of wrestler, that type of star power where you could put him in the world title picture and no one would bat an eye. But it was also pretty cool to see that after the whole match and Seth finally got out of the ring, we see Bronson stand up and look Seth directly in the eyes, and you can actually see Seth mouthing off, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" For our 4th match of the night, we got Liv Morgan versus Nia Jax for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship. My gosh, those were big belts. This match was your standard Liv Morgan Nia Jax match. And when I say this, it's because it's heel versus heel. Both had its booking caveats. With Nia Jax, it was Tiffany Stratton. With Liv Morgan, it was Dom and Raquel. The only thing that was very noteworthy from this match, rather than the belts being so big, is that Tiffany wanted to cash in on Nia. The only time she came out was when Nia was down. So this is leading to a Tiffany face turn, or maybe leading into Tiffany cashing in on Nia, which is something I'm really excited for. I can't wait for that pop when she finally does. But the result of the match, Liv comes out on top and becomes your inaugural 2024 Crown Jewel Women's Champion. The 5th match of the night was Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, and this match never actually happened. I'm gonna talk about the video package. I love this video package. The fact that they used the CCTV footage and the fan footage just adds a touch of realism that I feel like gets lost in today's wrestling world. So yeah, that's another point for the production team of WWE. So anyway, this match was ruled out a no contest. The reason for that was because before anything even started, Randy and Kevin started brawling, which led to Kevin giving a stunner to the referee, and which led to a bunch of security in the backstage to come out to separate the two. This led to Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis coming out trying to separate the two, which led to Randy Orton giving Adam Pearce an RKO. I hope this leads into something for Survivor Series. GM versus GM Warfare would be amazing to see, because if you've been paying attention lately, it's a bunch of SmackDown superstars that's been causing a lot of kerfuffles or ruckus in or on the Raw shows. So GM versus GM Warfare, I'm all for it. Eventually, this brawl leads into the crowd, and it ends when Kevin Owens does a flying elbow to Randy Orton on top of a set of tables. This was a really cool visual, especially with I assume a drone that was zooming out from them, as you could see the two bodies just laying over the wreckage that they caused. With match 6 of the night, which was the triple threat United States Championship match between LA Knight, Carmelo Hayes, and Andrade. For a match that didn't even go 10 minutes, this match was probably match of the night. I was really impressed with how each of these wrestlers got to showcase their style in the triple threat setting. The chemistry between these 3 guys have to be studied, because throughout the entire match, it didn't feel like a glorified one-on-one. It felt like a triple threat match where each wrestler showed that they wanted the title. Some spots that blew me away were the moonsault that was to the outside of the ring and the double BFT that LA Knight hit to win the match. If there was one match to watch in the entire show, it is the triple threat match between these 3. Finally, our main event, match 7 between Cody Rhodes and Gunther for the men's Crown Jewel Championship. Side note before I get into it, did you see how big that thing is? And the fact that that thing probably cost multi-millions to make? So before the match, there was a hype package, a hype video, and this hype video was really nice to see, especially since it was showcasing the history and the lineage that Cody and Gunther are coming from as world champions going into this match. This match felt like a good old classic wrestling match where you clearly have the babyface and the heel. The babyface being this flashy babyface that was pandering to the crowd, while the heel was a no-nonsense, didn't pander to the crowd, only cared about winning the match. It was such a great match. I know that WWE tries to tell or show that the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship are both equals, but clearly the World Heavyweight Championship is the secondary title. But it felt like Cody Rhodes was the underdog throughout the entire match. And the way they showcased this was throughout the entire match, you could see Gunther trying to catch Cody with his sleeper hold, and Cody constantly turning his back on Gunther, which is something that I have to say was a nice touch because it showed Cody being naive, and it showed how much of a veteran Gunther is with his style of wrestling. The end of the match, you could see that Gunther tries to put a sleeper hold on Cody. And Cody, being the babyface, learned from his mistakes and uses his momentum to put Gunther in a pinning position. Pinning him 1, 2, 3. Cody becomes the inaugural 2024 Crown Jewel champion. And this wasn't Cody beating Gunther for the title. This was Cody surviving the match. At the end of the match, Cody and Gunther shake hands, and it felt like even if Cody is the primary champion of the company, it felt like Cody got the Gunther rub for some reason. But yeah, at the end of the day, this was a really great match, and it was a good old-fashioned wrestling match, and it's another match that I'd say that you should go out of your way to watch. Overall, this felt like a filler show. Don't get me wrong, the show wasn't bad, the matches were great, it just had the wrong winners. Also, from a production standpoint, I don't know, but it felt like Kevin Dunn was back in production in this show. There were so many times there were unnecessary cuts and angles, and hell, even if I said the hype videos were good, they weren't great. The fact that the music that they used in these hype videos didn't really hype me up, and instead, it sounded like music that I can find in a royalty-free stock library. Comparing this show to 2023 Crown Jewel, where you had Imagine Dragons being the opening song for Crown Jewel, or the fact that you had that awesome LA Knight versus Roman Reigns vignette. Overall, I would rate Crown Jewel 2024 a 5 out of 10, and their production a 6 out of 10. But anyway, with that being said, I hope you liked the video. If you liked it, give me a like. If you didn't like it, give me a dislike. And if you want to watch more, you could give me a subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. And yeah, only subscribe if you're a fan of professional wrestling or the artful and production side of professional wrestling. But anyway, till then, stay safe, and I'll see you later.